Hello, this is Dr. Charmaine Gregory, and I wanted to come on really quickly. Post night shift, you can probably see that the sun is, maybe that is the sun, I'm not sure. That might not be the sun. But you can see that we're in the parking lot. It's still dark outside. The shift has ended, and I wanted to get on really quickly while the car warms up because it's cold outside, as you all know. And it does take a little bit for the car to get warm and for me to feel comfortable to be able to get to that right temperature to get home and to be able to focus on the road getting home. All right, so I want to talk to you about 3 reasons why I like being a night shift mom. And this all came about because a Facebook friend and Instagram friend of mine who I happened to have met in person at the ASAP meeting in Denver, who is Erin, Dr. Erin, who is known as ER Mom, Dr. Mom, ER Doc Mom is Instagram. And she gets questions all the time about emergency medicine, what is it like to be a physician, what is it like to be a woman in medicine, etc. And one of the questions that she got was, what is it like to be a mom who works nights? And she does all the shifts in her practice, and she knew that I do night shifts only in my own practice, and so she referred that question to me. And so I was thinking about it, and there's so many reasons why I like working a night shift. And it is definitely one of those things where you either like it or you don't. And if you're in a situation where you're in a practice where someone takes over all the nights, that can be very desirable. So, for example, my partners, in general, they don't usually have to work any nights because there is a group of us that like to do the night shifts, and we divvy them up amongst ourselves, and so our the partners don't have to work nights. All right. So I have been working night shifts now. That's a little bit of background. I have been working night shifts for 14 years, essentially. And I first came out of residency and I was doing all the shifts. So we weren't doing nights at a time because, like I said, there's always been a nocturnist group within our group. So when I first started, I was doing all the shifts, and I found that it was really difficult for me to swing from the afternoon shift, which goes until late into the night, and then my brain usually doesn't turn off, so I have a hard time going to bed, and then I'd have to come back and do a day shift. And so that was very difficult for me, and I realized right away that if I could get my schedule to be constant, I would do a whole lot better. So I inquired about nights and then started to do night shifts, and it was the best thing ever for me. It was an opportunity to have, number one, control of my schedule, number two, be able to cluster the nights together so that my circadian rhythm would be in sync with the schedule, so it wouldn't be as crazy. And then when the children came, it was even better because I was able to be living a life that was like a stay-at-home mom but still working full-time. So number one thing that I like about being a night shift mom is having control over my schedule. So I know what I'm going to be doing ahead of time, which is huge, and I can schedule myself around the activities of the children and whatever the family's doing. So that's number one perk that I find is great about being a night shift mom. The second perk that I like about it is that as a night shift doctor, in my particular group, I get a differential. So I basically get less shifts to become full-time, less shifts equating to full-time. And so that is huge for me because I feel like that provides me with more time to be with my family. Okay, so number one was having control over the schedule. Number two is getting a shift differential and being able to spend more time with the family. And then number three is just having that ability to be present for them, even on the times, even during the day. So, before I didn't have children at the time when I first was working all the shifts, but I can imagine that if I had children who are in school, our children are not in school, they are homeschooled, so that's a little bit different scenario, but I can imagine that if they were in school, And there were activities during the daytime, or if I wanted to volunteer at the school, or I wanted to, be part of their life during the daytime, I wouldn't be able to do it necessarily, because it would be based on what was going on at my schedule. And I find that was an advantage, because I was literally able, when they were a lot younger and we were doing a lot of meetups and things like that, we were able to go to all of those things in the daytime with the other moms who stayed at home. And it was really fun for them, because they loved going to the museum and we loved going to the park and all those great things. So that allowed me to have a very a huge amount of contact with my children as they were very young. And even now, we do things in the daytime. When we are done with our work, we will do things. So that's been a huge advantage. So the 3 things: control over the schedule. Number 2 is a shift differential, so less shifts per month and still being full-time. And then the 3rd one is being able to participate in daytime activities as if I were a stay-at-home mom, only I'm working as a full-time mom. So those are the things. There are plenty of other things that I like about the night shift, but the question specifically was, what is it like to be a night shift mom? And I am telling you my perspective as a emergency medicine nocturnist night shift mom. So hopefully that's helpful. If you guys have questions, or if you have comments, if you're also a night shift mom, maybe not in emergency medicine but doing other things, feel free to comment below and share your insight and your thoughts, because I know that there are several people who are watching this, or who are looking to figure out whether they want to do the nocturnist life when they get done with their training. So I feel like this is just my perspective. Like I said, there are several other physicians who work exclusively nights, who are in emergency medicine, that I know are on social media. So you can also tap into those individuals. One person that comes to mind immediately is Dr. Heather Hammerstedt. She works night shifts as well. And so, there's a little cadre of us. So definitely tap us on the shoulder and ask questions. And hopefully that will be helpful to you. All right. The car is now nice and warm, and the light is better. So I am going to take off right now. Hey, Maureen, thanks for joining. I'm going to take off right now, go home, get some sleep, and get ready for some afternoon activities with the family. All right. I hope that you guys are going to have an amazing day, and I hope that you will be strong, be brave, and unleash your greatness.